Welcome to 5 Good Minutes.
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Daniel
with Kurt Bjorklund.
So in Daniel chapter 3, we have this account of King Nebuchadnezzar making this image and saying, when the music plays, everybody has to bow down and fall on their face. And if not, she'll be immediately cast into the burning fiery furnace. That's verse 6, verse 1 through 6. Verse 7, therefore, as soon as all the people heard the sound of the horn and the pipe and the lyre and the trigon and the harp and the bagpipe and every kind of music, all the people, nations and languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Therefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came forward and maliciously accused the Jews. They declared to King Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. You, O king, have made a decree that every man who hears the sound of and it goes through all the instruments again, that they will be thrown into the fire. And then it says, but there are certain Jews who you have appointed over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, pay no attention to you. They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in a furious rage, commanded Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought. So they brought these men before the king, and Nebuchadnezzar said to them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image that I have set up? Now, if you are ready when you hear the sound, and he goes through all of them again, he says that I have made, fall down and worship the image that I have made. And he basically says, and it will be well with you, or it will be good with you. It's implied here. But he says, but if you do not worship, you shall immediately be cast into the fiery furnace. And who is the God who will deliver you out of my hand? So here's the ultimatum. And we talked yesterday about our own cultural moments, the moments when it's, which God will I choose? Will I choose the God of the Bible, the God of the universe, or will I choose the God of my culture? And then verse 16 is this well-known, famous account. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. I love these verses because I call this but if not faith. Because the phrase here at the beginning of verse 18 that says but if not is the key, I think, to a courageous faith. You see, it's one thing to say God will deliver me, and to have that confidence, which is important and good to say, I have conviction, I know who God is, I know that God can work here. But the but if not faith is the faith that says, but if God is going to work differently, it's okay with me because he's still God and I'm still going to serve him regardless of how this turns out for me. And this is the kind of faith that I want to have, the kind of faith that says, I will not compromise, not because God will ultimately deliver me, although he can, but because it's not worth compromising ever. And there needs to be, if you're going to have this kind of faith, a willingness to say, I don't have to survive. I don't have to thrive in this environment. And ultimately, we have to understand that compromise never is really a pathway forward, because when you compromise, there's never a good comeback. I mentioned yesterday working at a job where a girl I was dating was kind of objectified, and how I had a moment of choice. And if I had compromised in that moment, there is no second chance to go back. You can't 3 days later say, hey guys, by the way, when I kind of chimed in or when I did this, here's, you just start down a path and you know it when you've done that, but you have to be willing in those moments to say, it's okay if this group turns on me on this issue or in general, because I trust God's hand in the midst of this. And as I said yesterday, there have been plenty of times when I did not choose the right thing. That's just one instance that comes to mind where I remember the choice being being vividly clear and like in real time making that choice to say, no, today I'm choosing to say, I'm going to do the right thing. And if God doesn't deliver me, God can do whatever he wants here, but if not, it's okay. And again, it wasn't being thrown into a fiery furnace. I don't mean to equate it with that. But you will have these moments where you can say, there's a good chance that I'm not going to be delivered. I know God can, but even if not, I still have enough conviction to follow this through because I believe it is the right thing.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.